Okay, this is May 22nd, a Tuesday. Here, Bob Herzog, Cheryl Revkin, and would you like to say your name for the camera?
Sakaye Shigekawa.
Dr. Shigekawa, who's invited us to her home today. Okay, so what year were you born?
I was born on January 6, 1913.
1913. Oh, so my
94.
father was born. And that was where were you born?
South Pasadena.
Oh, you were born in South Pasadena. And how did you get to Chicago then?
Well, I went to my preliminary years in USC. So I spent 4 years at USC, and first year they didn't have a medical school, and the second year they only took 2 women. So then I was out, so I applied in Chicago, Stritch Loyola in Chicago.
For medical
And I was one of 2 one from San Francisco and myself.
That got in Chicago.
In Chicago, Stritch Loyola.
I see.
So then
and what year was that?
That was in 1940.
1940, I see.
What was it? 1936. I think, yeah, it had to be.
And then
I
you graduated
college, and then I went to medical school for 4 years, and then after I graduated, I started practicing, and I had my internship in Bay City, Michigan.
I see.
And then
did you have a specialty there?
No, I had to have a general
internship.
So I was there for a year, and then I came back home to go. That was when the war started.
Right.
I went to County Hospital, but the war started, so everyone of Japanese descent had to leave. So then I went to Seaside Memorial in Long Beach, and of course the war started, so we had to evacuate from that area and go to concentration camp.
And which camp were you sent
I was in Santa Anita racetracks.
Oh, is that right? Really?
And I was very upset, of course, and bitter at the time. But I started to work and take care of patients, and there were 3 of us.
3 medical doctors? I see.
And one was from Long Beach, and one from Gardena, I think, and then myself.
Were you the only woman?
I was the only woman.
And did you live with your family there?
No, I was living alone,
Oh.
and I hadn't come home, and I had these internships and all that, so I was still studying.
But where did your family go then? Did they go to Santa Anita as well?
Yeah.
But they lived separately from you?
Yes, they lived down the street. They had just built their home, and they couldn't even live in it.
They couldn't live in it. But eventually they went back to it?
Yes, after we were able to come back.
And did you have brothers and sisters?
I have a twin who died when she was 80.
Oh.
She died of leukemia. And then I have a younger brother and a younger sister that's 9 months younger than I, so it was like triplets in the family.
Oh my goodness, really? I see.
So there's 3 of us left.
I see. And how was it that you came to Silver Lake then?
Well, see, my folks had that house on Benton Way.
Oh, they did?
Down the street here. It's a 2-story house. They couldn't even live in it
Oh,
because
that
of
was
the war.
That was the house that they built.
Yes.
I see.
And this was an empty lot, so I decided to build a house here.
I see. Do you remember their address on Benton Way?
1537.
Oh,
just
so
down
they're
the street,
just
3-4 doors down.
I
It's
see.
this 2-story house, and they couldn't even live in it because the war just started.
So it just laid empty then during the war?
No, it was rented out.
Oh, So your family was able to rent it out, and they received the money. They were able to receive the money.
Then I don't know.
Yeah. And then after the war,
They got it back.
And you built your house then?
Yes, well, it was about several years later because I was in Chicago. But when I came back and I was practicing in Chicago for 4 years. So when I came back, there was an empty lot, so I thought, well, I'll build my house here.
I see. I see. Do you know why your family chose to build their house in Silver Lake? Because you said originally they were in South Pass.
Well, at that time, they had a real estate agent that Well, they didn't really allow Orientals here, when they bought theirs.
They didn't allow them?
No,
Didn't allow?
What do you
But
mean?
somehow, well, people around here didn't want any Orientals around. So in the meantime, they built the house anyway. But the neighbors were very kind, and they accepted us.
Yes.
The family. But we didn't have a chance to live in there because the war started.
Right.
So it was rented out.
Right, I see. So, are any of those neighbors, still around?
Yes,
Do you think?
a lot of them.
Do you remember?
In fact, they were patient. They were
Patients of yours.
patients of mine.
Right.
In fact, most of the area were patients of mine.
So when did you actually start your practice?
I started here in, I think it was 1940. No, it was later.
After the war, maybe?
Yes, because I practiced in Chicago, and I practiced there for 4 years and decided to come back home. So I think it was about 1940 that I started here.
And did you have your practice downstairs here? Was your practice here in this house?
No, I had an office on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Oh.
Near Normandy.
Near Normandy. So it was kind of in Hollywood, really?
It was in Hollywood.
And was it a general practice?
General practice.
I see. And
it was near Normandy and Santa Monica.
I see. And then you stayed there all of these years? Oh, really? Did you ever have a partner?
No.
I see. And what do you remember about your practice that kind of stood out?
I had a big practice, and I think I delivered more babies than any obstetrician in Los Angeles at that time.
So did you actually specialize then in OB/GYN? You ended up
being
doing
a
that?
woman, I had more patients that were women.
I see.
Yeah, that were pregnant.
And did you do home births, or did you have hospital privileges? Or?
Oh yes, I was going to, at that time, Queen of Angels Hospital.
Oh, Queen of Angels, I see.
I think I was one of 2 or 3 women that were practicing there.
I see. And the other women were also obstetricians, or
no? They were general. I think I don't know. I remember what they were.
I see. So, what were your parents' names?
My parents' name? Well, my father's name was Tsunetaro Shigekawa, and my mother was Shina Shigekawa.
I see. And when did they come to this country?
I don't know. It was in the 1800s, later 1800s and the early 1900s. I think my father was here in 18-something. I have it somewhere. And my mother came later.
I see.
She was a picture bride.
Oh, she was. So he saw the picture, and then he sent away a mail order bride like that. And do you know why he came here? Was he seeking something? No, he just wanted to come to the United States.
I think so at that time.
Did he have other family members who came?
No, he was the only one. In fact, I think he was the only boy in his family, and I think he had 2 sisters. I don't know.
I see.
I never met them.
You never met them, no?
And my mother was the one of 2, I think, but the only child left. I think her father was used to make kimonos.
Oh. So you didn't really have too much family here in the United States, like cousins?
We don't have much of a family,
Well,
whether they're here or not. But all our family have been here.
Yeah. And do you know when your father came here, did he live in South Pasadena? Or only after he got married?
I think they came. He was in San Francisco, but I'm not sure. I think it was San Francisco, and I think that's where he married my mother.
Oh.
And then they came to Los Angeles.
And what kind of work did he do?
My father at that time, with all Orientals did, was gardening.
Gardening. Well, they must have had a sort of an emphasis on education because you went to college.
For education.
Did all of your brothers and sisters go to college?
And my brother went for, I think, about a year or 6 months to go to UCLA and quit. But my sisters didn't go.
But did they
finished
live?
High school though.
Did they eventually come back and live after the war here in Silver Lake?
The whole family were here. I was the only one that was in Chicago.
I see. So they might have gone to school here in Silver Lake?
Oh, yes. No. See, we lived on East Los Angeles at that time.
Oh.
And we all went to Jefferson High School.
I see.
McKinley Junior High School. And I went to SC.
Did your siblings then work around the neighborhood here?
Did
your sisters
no,
and brothers?
none of them worked. They weren't working at all.
Did your father work in the neighborhood?
No, he went in with a group of men and had a hog ranch in Long Beach.
Oh.
So that's all.
So you would travel from here to Long Beach?
He would commute. But my mother had a grocery store.
She did?
Where? In South Los Angeles.
Oh.
It's on 46th and Hooper, near Jefferson High School.
And then eventually she sold it? Did they sell the grocery store? I see.
During the war.
They sold it. I see.
They had it, but they came back to it and got rid of it.
I see. How did they feel, or how did you all feel really coming back after the war? And
well, we had a home to come home to, so
you felt grateful
we didn't
for
have
that.
any difficulty.
Seems like there were some other Japanese families here in Silver Lake. There's Little Tokyo Florist. Did you happen to know them?
Yes, yes.
You did?
They used to own property on Los Feliz before it was developed,
Oh, they were kind of friends of the family? Or?
No.
But just people
they
you
were
knew?
my friends, but
Your
not
friends?
my folks.
I see. And did you have other friends here in Silver Lake that were Japanese?
Ask if she knew the Itos.
Yeah, I was just going to do that. No, it's fine, yeah. You know, the judge, Lance Ito, he was the judge, kind of a famous judge in the O.J. Simpson trial. And he grew up here in Silver Lake.
I didn't know him.
The Ito family, or his parents or anything? So when you had your practice, would you say there was a diversity of patients who came?
Yes,
Some people from
all over.
all over. And
See, when I first practiced, it was in Chicago, so I had a mixture of Polish people and various nationalities.
I know I'm Hungarian. My family grew up in Chicago. My grandparents came around the early
so
for
I
a
had
long time, 1900s.
patients from the Middle East, West, Europe.
Are you actually bilingual?
Well, yeah, I had to be. Of course, I had to learn from patients, so I made a lot of mistakes, but they didn't criticize me, so I learned as I went along.
Learned their language, or you mean learned English?
Yeah,
or
Japanese.
Or Japanese.
I learned that, but I made a lot of mistakes, but no one ever
corrected
criticized me. And I didn't know any better, but I knew certain words, so I talked like a child, I guess.
Your parents didn't speak Japanese to you?
No, because my mother had a business, so she spoke English.
And she wanted you all,
we spoke English anyway, because we didn't know any Japanese.
I see.
So all of us spoke English.
And did you ever go to Japan to visit?
I went after I graduated medical school. I went twice with 2 other Caucasian friends of mine.
I see. So living here in Silver Lake, after you built your house, by the way, the address here is 1511 Benton Way, right? Yeah. Do you remember how you got around Silver Lake, or how you got to work? Did you take a bus, or?
No, I always drove.
You had a car. Wow. Do you remember what your first car was? No.
I think it was either a Nash or I don't know, some
something
or
like
Star or some car that's not in existence anymore. But I have a Honda Civic, and I got the smallest car I can get because I liked it.
Did you
but
go?
I used to drive a Cadillac, and I don't know to this day how I drove it.
It's so big.
I drove it for about 5 years or so.
Yeah. And did you do any shopping here in Silver Lake?
No,
Do you
I
remember
didn't.
how it developed?
No,
you know?
I haven't done any shopping around.
Even how about your groceries and things?
No, I didn't. Since I'm alone, I didn't always eat it at home, and as far as groceries, there's a little store down the street.
So there was a store down the street here?
Well, in the early days, I don't know, because I didn't go shopping.
But later, like over towards Glendale Boulevard?
No, to Sunset.
Oh, to Sunset.
There are a couple of small stores, you know.
Mm-hmm. I see. And are there any things you remember about Silver Lake that you particularly like? Not really.
There's Vaughn's and Ralph's, you know. So I go to Vaughn's a lot, and then Ralph's on.
But I mean, let's say, did you ever, for instance, go over to the Silver Lake Reservoir and walk around that area?
No, I drive through there a lot.
You do?
Because I took from Glendale to here. This was the first time I drove through Silver Lake.
How did your parents feel about you being a doctor? I mean, were they very proud?
Well, they never said anything.
They never said anything.
That they always said to do what you like, you know.
And what inspired you to be a doctor?
Well, when I was when I was young teenager, my father had pneumonia, and in those days there was no cure for it, and he was sick for about 6 months, and he was at the Good Samaritan Hospital, and so his doctor's name was Dr. William J. Norris, who was a wonderful man. And so I used to, after school, I used to go see my father, because in those days people died of pneumonia because they had no antibiotics. So I would hear people say, it looks like he's not going to make it, you know, in front of you, you know. So I would think I'm not going to have my father, but he looked terrible because he lost weight and everything. And so I'd go every day to Good Samaritan and sit by his bedside, you know. And I did that for about 6 months. And then I admired the doctor so, Dr. Norris. He was a tall, handsome doctor. And so as I sat there, I said, well, I think I want to be a doctor like Dr. Norris, William J. Norris. And so he encouraged me. And he gave me he signed all my applications to the various schools, you know. So
did you get a scholarship then? Or?
Oh no, I didn't get a scholarship.
But your family supported you?
So then I went to SC for my pre-medical work. And the first year they didn't accept any women. The second year they accepted 2, and I wasn't one of them. So I went to Chicago, and they accepted 2 from here, 1 from San Francisco, myself.
You must have felt you were pretty, privileged, pretty special to have been...
But I knew what I wanted, but I knew that they didn't accept many women. Yeah. Now there's more women than men, I think.
Yeah, that's true, right? We were told by some other women who are kind of contemporaries of yours who grew up here in Silver Lake that there were 5 hospitals in Silver Lake. Were you ever aware of any of the hospitals here in the community at all?
Just the Queen of Angels and St. Vincent's and Hollywood Presbyterian.
The big
ones. And I was, they didn't accept many women, and then minorities they wouldn't accept. But I was lucky enough to get into Queen of Angels. I think I was the first one. And I think there were one other woman.
There was also kind of a strong Filipino community not too far from Queen of Angels. Were there any other doctors there that you...
I knew that I met a lot of doctors, yes, and they were friends, and we worked together a lot.
Kind of colleagues.
Yeah, see, it's right there. So, and I had to get up all hours of the night because I delivered more babies than any of his obstetricians even.
I see.
My doctor suggested we call you as well as Dean Ng. My doctor is Dr. Khan Nguyen at Queen's Care Clinic in Echo Park, where you have worked, I understand. You've done work there.
What was his name?
Her name was Dr. Khan Nguyen, is Dr. Khan Nguyen. She's practicing Queen's Care Clinic. She said she knew you and that you had worked there recently and were still taking patients until you retired.
Yes. Yeah. Most of the people that I worked with are gone.
Yeah. Was it hard to start your own practice? I mean, to rent it out?
It was easy to start the practice, but the hardest thing was getting in privileges in the hospital. But I was lucky enough to get in at the Queen of Angels.
What made it so difficult?
Well, they didn't accept Orientals, and I was one of the first Orientals, and they didn't accept women.
I see.
So I had two
Strikes against
me,
you, yeah.
but I got into Queen of Angels, one of the first women.
Do you remember when you had your first patients come to your office over on Santa Monica Boulevard? Do you remember how much you would charge for a visit?
I think it was about $3.
$3.
Yeah, in fact, it was about $3 for a long time.
And did you ever sort of barter with people, you know, people who couldn't afford it?
I didn't send bills even, so I might have been paid or I might not have been paid. I mean,
Yeah.
I never...
Sort of had an open door policy if somebody needed to come to you.
Yeah.
And then to deliver a baby, how much do you remember how much that was?
First time, I think it was about $35.
$35.
9 months.
Oh, wow. That's amazing,
Yeah.
huh? And then do you remember a certain point when things really started to change and you had to do insurance billing?
It started to change about 5 years afterwards, you know, when doctors are charging a lot more. And then they had insurances.
So did you have to hire an office manager to?
No.
No.
I just myself, and I had a secretary.
A secretary,
That's all.
kind of handle things for you, right? Did you take walk-in patients, or people had to call and make an appointment?
Well, they made appointments, but they could walk in, but most of them were by appointments.
I see. And then, so you had to kind of divide your time a little bit between the office and then going to the hospital, right?
Well, in fact, I was running between both.
Both, a lot. Did you work
And
6?
they had to wait, and sometimes I'd have a room full of people waiting, but they waited. But now I don't think they'd wait. But actually, those days...
They would wait for you.
Oh, yeah,
right?
they waited till I came back. Sometimes they'd be 2 hours, 3 hours.
So did you work very long days, you know, like
Long
long
I worked
days?
night and day, night and day.
Maybe even 7 days a week? Or?
7 days of work. I didn't have any. Because if you have a delivery, you don't know when the babies are coming.
Right.
So I think I delivered more than any of the specialists
Oh, really?
in obstetric in Los Angeles anyway at the time. As a matter of fact, the obstetrical department honored me anyway.
Oh, they did?
For delivering more than they delivered.
Did you keep count of how many babies you delivered? Do you have any idea?
Well, an awful lot. I can't remember, but I did deliver more than I think anyone in town at the time.
Do you happen to have the honor that they gave you, like anything framed that had your license or...
I have all kinds of licenses and all downstairs.
Downstairs? Yeah, maybe we'd like to go down there and put it on the record, I guess. Did you enjoy delivering babies probably the most?
I delivered, fortunately, I never lost a mother.
Oh, that's great. Or a baby?
Babies, well, except, you know, so those that you're
Premature.
bound to lose.
Yeah.
But not to make me feel that I want to give it up. You know?
Oh, yeah. Any other twins like yourself?
I think I'm the only general practitioner that delivered 3 sets of triplets.
Triplets?
3 sets.
Oh my God! Wow. And
some of them have never delivered a triplet.
Did the mother go full term? Do you remember? Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. They didn't have ultrasound then, so you might not have known they were triplets, right?
No, I thought they were twins.
Did you have to do certain hours every year to renew your license? And
No.
once you were established, that was good. Well, it'd be kind of nice to go downstairs if you're willing to go down there, and we could maybe just film your office and what's up on the walls. So we appreciate that. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us? I mean, that seems special. It was really a very interesting story, though. It's just great. Pinky, did you have any questions? No? Okay, well, let's go downstairs. Okay. All right.
Should we turn it off?
Okay,
you're on.
This is Dr. Shigekawa's mother, who was a picture bride. She said a mail order bride. What was her name?
My mother?
Yeah.
Sheena.
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 And then here's her dad. And could you pronounce his name again? I know that was difficult.
Shigekawa.
No, his first name.
Shina. My
Shina.
mother's Shina.
And then your dad.
Sinataro.
Sinataro, that's it. And then, wait, just 1 second. This is Dr. Shigekawa's twin sister.
This is my twin sister and niece. Look at the difference in size.
Oh my goodness, you weren't identical, I guess. And
No.
this is
In
now, well, no, actually, before 19, you said she
This
died when she was 80.
80,
right?
And she would be in the center of that photo, is that correct?
She's taller than you?
Oh, yes. She's slender and taller than I.
And then who are these people again? This is, here, why don't you come
See, this is my mother and my father, and this is my twin sister.
And up here?
Up there, my father and mother.
Okay. Great, thank you. Here, I can put him back if you want. Okay.
We're following Dr. Shigekawa. She's going to show us some of her hats.
These are the hats that are covered here.
She's known for her hat collection. She said she has over 100 hats.
Yeah. Well, these are a few.
That was the one you were wearing in the picture with your sister.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Any favorites you want to show us?
No, they're all
Favorites, huh?
They're all favorites.
they're all
all special. Look at those. Wow. Guess you like flowers. Oh, that one's great.
these are all these.
That hat's bigger than you are.
And who's that? And the portrait up there?
Oh, that's me.
I thought
That's you.
so.
Someone
Was that painted or?
someone
That looks,
painted it for me.
that looks like around the mid-40s.
Yes, it is.
Hairstyle, huh? Oh, nice.
Did you actually design your home? It's
Erickson, done in 1947.
wonderful.
That's
And
wonderful.
I have my straw hats in another room.
Okay, I'm going to turn the camera. I'll put the camera on standby.
Okay, and I have my straw hats in my bedroom here.
Okay, I'm still on. I'm with you, right behind you.
Can you believe Bob and she are the same species, right?
I heard that.
Wow, this really just goes.
It's a nice house.
These are in my drawers.
Oh, they're all down there? Oh, look how wonderful.
I have
Put one on.
Model one for us.
Try to help her.
Here. Watch your. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, another red one.
Yeah, you look good in red.
Well, she's wearing cardinal and gold, which happen to be the colors of USC, where I went to school too, Doctor.
Oh, there we go. That's beautiful.
That's dark.
Oh, nice.
That's so beautiful.
Try the blue one. Chic. Very good.
Oh, so
That's fun.
chic. Look
That's
at this one with a nice netting.
Yeah.
Try that one. Show us.
Having a hat show.
See, I've had.
Oh, I like that.
That's a great one.
This is nice too.
Okay.
He was not kidding. Just read that. Oh, here.
Okay, here we go. Read that for me, will you, Pinky?
From Stritch.
Right. A Feeling for Healing, and then the subtitle. Stritch alum going strong after practicing 65 years and delivering
I
10,000
think
plus
this is the same thing, isn't it?
babies.
Is that the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Shall I?
No,
You did it
that's- we don't need to read the article. That's pretty much the sum of it.
You know, it would be nice, it would be to
I
have
think it was
a
that,
copy of that to put in the archives.
You might be able to get it off of this.
Okay.
Okay, the link is www.luc.edu/ALUMNI. Is there a date anywhere on here what this is from? No.
Sure is.
Is this Loyola?
Okay.
September 30th through October 2nd. There's no date. Do you know when this came out? What year?
this was in, let's see,
We couldn't find a date.
I think it was about 1960. Let me see. When, it's
Before
when I
you were
s-
born.
No, I think it was in,
Yeah, because there's
Well,
alumni notes from the
240, wait a
70s and
minute.
80s.
Yeah, I
40.
saw that.
7, 96.
it's, I think it's about then.
Okay. All right, good. I'll follow you, Doctor. Okay, we're going downstairs now to see Dr. Shigekawa's office.
Certificates and all.
Yeah.
If I fall down the steps, you will come get me?
I will break your fall.
We have a doctor phone.
Oh, we have a doctor.
You can help to live with a child.
Yeah. Not that you practice from, but I practice towards the end. Oh, so she takes like the last 5 years or so you practiced here? Did you get that, Bob?
The last 5 years, she's been practicing out of the office in the garage. Or the
And
basement.
there was a table. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Yeah.
I'm going to start.
And over here. Oh, you got a certificate of appreciation from the city, I see. Was that Jackie Goldberg? Was that? No.
I don't know.
Let me take a look. Yeah.
Doctor of the Year. Somebody just opened a door. Oh, because I got a lot of glare. Doctor of the Year, Queen of Angels Hospital, 1979.
Shall we close it?
1979 Doctor of the Year? That's
Yes.
amazing.
And here's her Hippocratic Oath. See, there's no date on here.
What was this?
This is her Hippocratic Oath that all doctors have to take. And here's another one from Queen of Angels Clinic.
Family care.
Well, this is where my doctor works, where I go for when I need to go to a doctor.
Mm-hmm. University of, what is this?
Loyola.
Loyola.
That's where I graduated.
I see. Undergraduate. Pre-med?
Pre-med, I didn't go to Loyola.
Oh, that was medical
This
school.
is a doctor of medicine.
Yeah, medical school, right.
Okay, I'm coming your way.
And this is the State Board of California in 1941.
State Board of,
Medical examiners in 1941. Wow, that's amazing.
I was born in 1940, doctor.
you're a youngster.
Can you point yourself out here in your
Yeah.
graduating class? Here, you need some glasses.
I'll go up here first and then come back down to there.
Certificate of Appreciation, President of the Staff of Queen of Angels.
Okay. This is the graduating class of Loyola University School of Medicine, class of 1940, the year I was born.
They look like they're mostly guys here.
Yeah.
The twins.
Oh my God, wow.
Where?
I see
Gotta
them.
be here somewhere. Was it alphabetical? No.
No.
Here's one woman.
Yes, there are four of us.
Oh.
I don't see you either. You must have been out drinking beer with the boys.
Yeah, I'm here somewhere.
Oh, here. Here you are.
Oh, yeah, here.
Right. Look how beautiful.
I'm
There
right
you
behind you.
go. Okay.
There she is.
I just happened to be looking
Where are
through
you?
this photograph album. So this is you and your sister, your twin sister?
Yes, uh-huh.
Isn't that amazing?
I haven't looked at these for so long, I
Isn't
don't
that
know.
right?
Never-
Well, it says the famous twins.
Bob, you wanna?
My twin was taller than I, so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The famous twins, 1929.
So 1929, you were about 15,
That's her on the left.
16 years
Yeah.
old. Huh?
Believe it or not.
Shigekawa. Okay. We got it. This camera is wonderful, I must say. What do we have over here? I don't want to step on you. Oops. Okay, let's see what we have.
You going over there?
Oh, I'm going the wrong direction with the zoom.
San Pedro.
Wow.
Bear with me here, folks.
The day of the beach.
Well, this
I
is
haven't looked
I
at those
can't.
things for so long.
Oh, the camera's not cooperating with me here.
What's the matter, Bob?
I can't get it to go, the zoom to go back. There we go.
Oh, God.
So beautiful.
President of the Medical Staff, 1977. Queen of Angels Hospital, Los Angeles.
Now in the little office, there are more.
I was the first woman to be president of the staff at that
Oh
time.
my God.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
First woman to be president of the staff, 1977.
I think I was the first woman and the last woman.
Tom Bradley gave her a certificate of appreciation from Queen of Angel. Then I noticed there's one plaque in there that's written in Japanese. It says Hiroshima Medical Staff. Do you know what that was? No? It's in there, yeah. It's all in Japanese, so I can't read it. Right. And there's another one from the city here. Let's see who this one's from.
This is a birthday party.
During the
Kenneth
internment,
Hahn.
did they limit you from speaking your native tongue? Did they only want you to speak English?
We never spoke. I didn't know how to speak it anyway.
Oh, I
Because my
see.
mother had a business, so she spoke English. So we spoke
Bob,
English
did you get the one down there?
It
was
wasn't
Kenneth
an
Hahn.
issue.
To the right.
I can't get in there. I'm getting this one, the Nisai, in recognition of your support
You needed a bigger office.
to the Nisai Week Japanese Festival.
Why did you move here?
Because I sold my other office. I owned it in Santa Monica.
Oh,
And I had 2 lots there, so I sold it.
I see. And did you just want to be closer to home?
You know,
You would just see people here who needed you, right?
for some of those that still wanted to come.
How long did you practice obstetrics? How long were you delivering babies?
So about 1980.
And did you choose to stop at that point? You wanted to
No. See, at that time, they decided you had to be a board member, but I wasn't, so it's
Oh, I
time
see.
to quit anyway.
I see, yeah.